Hello everyone. So the second movie of 2023 that I'll be reviewing is Plane, starring Gerard Butler and Mike Coulter. This is R-rated, an hour and 45 minutes long. You should be able to find it in most every local theater around you, and is directed by Jean-Francois Richer. So yes, without further ado, let me get into my review here. So this movie is about Gerard Butler being a pilot who finds himself caught in a war zone after he's forced to land his commercial aircraft during a terrible storm. Takes place basically just right after New Year's, and they're given very, very bad directions to fly through a storm, which ends up crashing their plane. On board are, I believe, 13 passengers, and one of them being a basically criminal who has played by Mike Coulter, who is escorted by a federal agent. And there's not really a lot of history given right away about what he's done, but they are flying him basically back to the States to try him for the crimes that he's committed. So plane goes down and they realize that they have landed in an active war zone where basically the military won't go because they keep getting their asses kicked by a bunch of militia who just runs this entire island the way that they want to. They're terrible criminals who have been known for ransoming people, missionaries, people for money. So with all that information, Gerard Butler and Mike Coulter decide that they need to use their collective skills to make certain that all the passengers are safe and radio for help. And right away, I will say that that all happens within like the first hour of this movie. So there is not a whole lot of time for them to do much. The pacing of this movie is extremely slow for the first, I want to say, really hour and 20 minutes of this movie. Things happen very, very predictably. This definitely doesn't do anything new in terms of the action or really thriller genre in a lot of ways. Again, too, it's just very predictable to see how events are going to play out, the fates of a lot of the characters, and again, to just where things are going to go. There's a very clear map that's basically just straight from start to finish that again, too, like I said, just this movie goes through. The characters aren't really dynamic at all. Like I said, you really get to know exactly who everyone is, and there's not really a lot of growth that comes from within them, especially the 13 passengers that are aboard this. They're very stereotypical and kind of like the nightmare customers that you will see on most any flights. The people who are just absolute dicks, treating the flight attendants like garbage, blaming weather on pilots' flight abilities, things like that. So a lot of these characters, you either don't get a lot of time to know about them, or you just don't care about them at all because they're assholes. So there isn't really a feeling like, of course the stakes are there, they're human lives, but you don't really feel or care for them a lot of the times. It's just basically Mike Coulter. You don't really get to know a whole lot about his past, but Gerard Butler, he is someone fighting for his family, and the flight attendants, you get to know a decent amount about them. There's also a decent amount of time like about to the airline and how they would deal with this problem. And again, too, a lot of the time you don't really get to know who these people are. They're just saying things, and too, a lot of them are just assholes who would care more about saving a few liters of fuel than it would be keeping their passengers and their pilots safe, to redirecting around a storm, things like that. So again, so you don't really get to care about them too much, know about them too much, and I felt like a lot of the times their scenes just didn't really add anything to the movie at all. And again, too, their storyline was just very predictable about how it was going to play out as well. When it comes down to the action in this, the action's pretty sweet, and when it kind of comes to military involvements and things like that, I found that there was actually some decent commentary and decent look into how a situation like this would play out and how it would look. And again, too, the action is pretty gnarly. The kills are pretty brutal a lot of the times. There is one of my favorite like sniper rifle moments that I've seen where it's 50 cals just annihilating trucks, sending people flying back so far. There's ridiculous over the top kills involving the plane itself in a lot of the ways. And I did have a lot of fun with the action. And really feel like with the last 20 minutes of this movie, there wasn't really anything that I was rolling my eyes at, or even like I said, even though it's really predictable, I never felt like I was wasting time watching this movie at all. I did have my decent fun with it, but it's definitely nothing groundbreaking, nothing special. There's some decent hand-to-hand sequences within this that are honestly filmed pretty damn well. Like, I can't knock the directing of this really at all. I just feel like there could have been a lot more script, a lot more character developments, and just better characters throughout the entirety of the film. The villains, again, too, are just extremely generic and not really much there. It basically just follows two of the main guys who have a bunch of henchmen around them, and they're just assholes. That's really all that is to them. So really, with everything taken together, I'm gonna have to give Plane a 6 out of 10. It's a decent action movie, and again, too, something that I think is worth a watch if you just want to watch something fun and easy. Gerard Butler is awesome in it. Mike Gauthier has some really good moments, and really, like I said too, the last action sequences definitely sell this film and make it something worthwhile to watch. Again, very predictable. Characters aren't really anything special, but for as action movies go, this one is pretty solid for the most part. So if you've seen Plane, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. And of course, if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And you can check out everything I do on this channel. I'll link some playlists up top here for convenience sake. Thank you for subscribing and turn that little ringer on. If you want to check out the description on this video, there is a link to the Media Mountain, which is my Discord, where we talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV, pretty much everything that's awesome in this world. So you can definitely join that amazing community, help make it even more amazing than it is already. And yeah, just awesome, guys.